The junkyard was silent, too silent. Wind howled between the broken hulls of crashed ships and rusted machines. Sharp metal edges glinted under the pale light of the twin moons. Eli, a lone human scavenger, stepped carefully over a twisted engine. Boots crunching against old glass and wires. He had been here 100 times before, collecting scrap to sell in the lower markets of Zeta Station. But tonight felt different, cold, still, like the grave. Eli paused when he heard it. A sound. Very soft. So soft, it almost sounded like a breath. Or a whimper. He froze. "Hello?" He called out, his voice echoing off the broken metal. "Is someone there?" No answer. He moved forward, flashlight sweeping across heaps of forgotten trash. A broken shuttle door. Half a robot. A child's toy covered in dust. Then he heard it again. This time clearer, a pained gasp. Eli dropped to his knees and started, pushing metal aside, carefully but quickly. The sound was coming from beneath a heavy pile of sharp scrap. His heart pounded. This wasn't a wild animal. It wasn't a machine. It was someone. After a few tense moments, he pulled back a bent piece of wing and stopped breathing. There she was, a woman. No, an alien woman. Her body was curled up, half buried under old tech and metal sheets. Her skin was pale lavender, covered in dirt and dried blood. Long silver hair stuck to her face. Her eyes were open but unfocused. Her lips moved slightly. But no sound came. She was alive. Barely. Oh no. What the hell? Eli whispered. He dropped to her side and gently touched her cheek. She flinched barely. Her body didn't move, just her eyes wide with fear. "Hey, it's okay. I'm not gonna hurt you," he said softly. She blinked. Once. Eli looked around. There was no one else. No ship, no escape pod, no signal flare. Just a body dumped in the middle of garbage, like she meant nothing. He pulled off his backpack and took out a small scanner. Holding it over her, he watched the screen flash red. Paralyzed, severe spinal damage, malnourished, dehydrated, bruised. Ribs. Internal bleeding, but still alive. "Damn," Eli muttered. "What happened to you?" He noticed something burned into her skin on her shoulder. A mark, a strange symbol that looked like a broken sun. He didn't recognize it, but it looked deliberate and cruel. A brand. She was cast out, he whispered, thrown away like trash. The alien woman tried to speak, but only blood came from her lips. Eli wiped it with his sleeve and gently cradled her head. "You're safe now," he said. "I got you." He wrapped her in his thermal cloak and checked her pulse. Weak, but steady. He had to move fast. Eli grabbed his cum and called his hoverbike parked outside the yard. "Come to my location. Emergency pickup. Medical." The bike beeped in response. As he waited, Eli kept whispering to her, telling her she'd be okay. That she wasn't alone. That someone still cared. Her eyes met his again, and this time, a tear rolled down her cheek. She couldn't move. Couldn't speak. But that tear said everything. She had been abandoned. By someone close. Family. He didn't know how or why. But he would find out. Someone had left her to die here, in the dark, among trash and rust. Someone thought she didn't matter. They were wrong. A low hum echoed in the air as the hoverbike arrived. Eli gently lifted the alien woman into his arms. She was light, too light. Like her body had stopped trying to survive. As he carried her out of the junkyard. The twin moons lit her face. For the first time, he saw how beautiful she was beneath the dirt and pain. But that wasn't what struck him most. It was her eyes. They weren't just full of pain. They were full of shame. She thought she deserved this, and that broke him. "No," he said aloud as he placed her on the bike's medical stretcher. "I don't care what they did to you. You deserve to live." The bike lifted off, carrying them into the night sky. Eli looked down one last time at the junkyard, the place where someone had tried to erase her from the universe. but she was still breathing. And now, he wouldn't stop until she had a reason to live again. The night air inside Eli's small outpost was cold, filled with the hum of old machines and the soft beep of his scanner. The alien woman lay on his work table, wrapped in a clean thermal blanket. She didn't move. Her body was still, but her eyes kept searching, watching him. Eli moved slowly, carefully connecting wires to a portable medical unit. He had found her just hours ago, left to die in a junkyard. And now he was trying to save her. Easy. I know it hurts, he whispered, placing a nutrient patch on her neck. She flinched. Not because it hurt, but because she was afraid. Every time he touched her, even gently, she twitched slightly. Like she expected pain to follow. That scared Eli more than the wounds. I'm not them, he said softly. I won't hurt you. She blinked, her lips trembling as if trying to form words. Eli leaned closer. Can you speak? Her mouth opened. A soft sound came out. Then, choking. Blood. Eli quickly wiped her lips and tilted her head slightly. She gasped for air, eyes wide in panic. He rubbed her shoulder, voice calm but firm. Breathe, just breathe. You're okay. After a few seconds, she calmed again. Her mouth opened once more. This time, only one word came through, barely a whisper. Why? Eli froze. Her voice was broken, dry, almost gone. But the word was clear. Why, what? He asked gently. She blinked slowly, then turned her eyes away, toward the wall. Her expression told him what her voice could not. Why did you help me? Why didn't you leave me there? Why do you care? Ayla sat beside her, tired but focused. He pulled out a small translator device and set it near her head. Don't talk, he said. You'll hurt yourself more. Just blink. She turned back. To him, one blink means yes, Eli said. Two means no, okay? She blinked once. He smiled. Good. Now tell me, do you remember who hurt you? She blinked once. Eli's smile faded. Was it strangers? Two blinks. He frowned. Was it family? One blink. Silence filled the room. Eli leaned back, stunned. Family. Her own people left her to die, in the dirt, among garbage. His jaw clenched. He looked down at her, this alien woman who could barely move, could barely breathe, and still had the strength to whisper that one word. He couldn't understand it. What kind of family throws someone away like that? As he turned to adjust her fore, his eyes caught something new. A faint, glowing line under her skin around her neck and shoulders. It was almost invisible, but under the right light, it shimmered. It looked like chains. Not real ones. Bio-coded. Restraints. Ancient tech. Illegal. Used only on slaves or dangerous criminals. Eli's chest tightened. Who was she? Was she dangerous? Or was that just another lie they told to justify abandoning her? I'll find out who did this, he said under his breath. And I'll make sure they never do it again. Suddenly, the lights flickered. The warning light on the outpost control panel turned. Red. Movement. Outside. Eli stood up quickly, grabbed his rifle, and checked the screen. 2 heat signatures, coming fast. Stay here, he told her. No matter what, don't move. She couldn't even if she wanted to. Outside, the desert wind picked up. Eli stepped into the shadows near the door, his rifle ready. The scanners beeped again, closer now. A small hovercraft landed. Just beyond the rocks. 2 figures stepped out. Tall, armored. Not rescue. Not allies. Hunters. They weren't here to help her. They were here to finish the job. Inside, the alien woman stared at the ceiling, body frozen, eyes wide with terror. She recognized the sound of those engines. They belonged to the same people who had thrown her away, but this time, she wasn't alone. The night outside the outpost was silent, too silent again. Eli stood behind a stack of crates. Rifle tight in his hands, breath calm but focused. His eyes stayed on the two armored figures walking slowly toward his shelter. Their faces were hidden by black masks. No names, no lights. Only purpose. He didn't need to ask what they were. Clan hunters, trained to find and erase those declared unworthy. Inside, the alien woman's eyes stared at the ceiling. Her body didn't move. But her heartbeat, weak and steady before, had started racing. She knew that sound. That kind of silence. It was death. Returning, the door opened with a soft hiss. Eli stepped forward, rifle aimed. "That's far enough." The hunters stopped. One of them spoke, voice cold, processed by a translator mask. "You found something in the junkyard." "Someone," Eli corrected. "She's alive. I'm keeping her safe." "That one is marked," the voice replied. "She belongs to no one, not even herself." Eli's jaw tightened. "Then you won't mind if she stays with me." The second hunter took a step forward. "She is cursed, broken. Her mind and body cannot be fixed. She's not a machine." Eli snapped. "She's a person." A pause, then laughter, dry, empty, not amused. "You humans always try to save the worthless," said the first hunter. "Your weakness will kill you one day." Eli didn't blink. "Maybe, but not today." The hunters raised their hands, non-threatening, but firm. "We are not here to kill you, human. We are here to erase what should not exist. Step aside." Inside the shelter, the alien woman's eyes burned with fear. Not because of pain, but because of memory. She remembered those voices. She had begged her family for help, for mercy. They answered with silence. Then, with exile, they branded her like garbage. The mark. Eli's voice came from outside. "What does the mark mean?" The first hunter replied coldly. "It means her blood has been rejected. Her soul has been unmade. She is no longer part of the living." Eli didn't lower his gun. "You mean you decided she wasn't worth living? She betrayed her kind. What did she do?" Silence. "Then, she was born." Eli's breath caught. "Born different. That was her crime. Not an action. Not a choice, just being." He felt sick. "You abandoned her because she was paralyzed?" He asked quietly. "She was a disgrace to our legacy. She could never breed, never fight, never carry the honor of her line. She was a broken vessel." Eli stared at them. His finger almost pulled the trigger. "You think that makes her less? To us, she never existed." Suddenly, a voice whispered from inside. Weak, but filled with fire. "I still exist." The hunters turned, surprised. Eli looked back and saw her. The alien woman had pushed herself halfway up, arms trembling, eyes locked on the open door. She was looking at them, not with fear anymore, with fury. She had been thrown out, left to rot. But now, someone stood beside her. Now she had something they didn't expect. Hope. Eli stepped back slowly and helped her sit up. "You sure?" he whispered. She nodded. He placed his hand gently over the burned mark on her shoulder. "She's not trash," he said. "She's proof that you failed." The hunters raised their weapons. "This is your last warning." Eli didn't flinch. "You want to erase her? Then you'll have to erase me too." The silence cracked. The hunters hesitated, then turned and walked away, not because they were afraid, but because they had seen something they didn't expect. Defiance. And love. They disappeared into the night without a word. Inside the outpost, Eli sat beside her. "You okay?" She nodded slowly. Then her voice came out again, quiet, broken, but proud. "Thank you for seeing me." He smiled. "I didn't just see you. I believe in you." Her fingers touched his hand. The first time she had moved on her own, the mark on her skin still burned, but now it meant something else. She had survived, and she had a name again. *. The outpost was quiet again, but this time Not from fear. Eli stood over a workbench, his hands covered in grease, sparks flying from an old exoframe. He hadn't slept. He didn't care. Every wire he connected, every bolt he tightened, it all had one goal: to help her stand again. Behind him, the alien woman lay on a padded couch wrapped in blankets, her eyes watching silently. She hadn't spoken again since the hunters left, not because she couldn't, but because something deeper inside her was still broken. She had spent her whole life being told she was useless. Eli wanted to give her a new message. "You ever seen one of these?" he said aloud, holding up a small metal spine, half covered in blinking lights. "Old Earth tech, prototype, originally made for soldiers with nerve damage." She didn't reply, but her eyes followed his every move. "This one's damaged," he went on, "but I think I can fix it. Might not be perfect. Might hurt like hell." He turned to her with a soft smile. "But it might help you walk." Her fingers twitched. "Hope. Real, dangerous, beautiful hope." He rolled the chair beside her. "You ready to try something crazy?" She blinked once. That meant yes. He worked carefully, attaching small pads to her back, gently connecting sensors to her muscles. The tech wasn't meant for her species, but Eli had learned to adapt. He had seen too many people left behind, people like her. "Tell me if it hurts," he said. She gave him a tired smirk, her first real expression since he found her. It was small, but it was there. He powered on the frame. A soft hum filled the room. Lights blinked. And then her leg twitched. Her breath caught. Her toes moved. She gasped. "It's working," Eli said, almost shocked. Tears formed in her eyes, but not from pain, from feeling. She hadn't felt her own legs in years, and now they were waking up. He supported her as she sat upright. "Take your time," he whispered. "There's no rush." She leaned forward, arms shaking, breathing hard. The muscles were weak. The pain was real. But she didn't stop. She put one foot on the ground, then the other. Eli stood behind her, ready to catch her, but she didn't fall. She stood, on her own, her knees bent. She wobbled, but she was standing. A soft sound left her mouth. A laugh. Weak, dry, but real. Eli's heart felt like it could burst. "You did it," he whispered. "You're doing it." She turned to him slowly, her body trembling from the effort. "You gave me back my legs." "No," Eli said. "You always had them. You just needed someone to believe in you." They stood in silence. Then something strange happened. A symbol appeared, hovering above the burned mark on her shoulder. Faint, glowing, like it had been unlocked. Eli stared. "What is that?" She looked down, surprised to. The glowing symbol pulsed like a heartbeat, a hidden code. Maybe the mark wasn't just a punishment. Maybe it was hiding something else. Something powerful, something forgotten. Eli leaned closer. "This isn't just a scar, it's a lock." She nodded slowly. A memory was coming back. Her voice shook. "My father said I carried shame. But," my mother whispered, "I carried something more." Eli stepped back, mind spinning. What if they didn't exile you because you were weak? What if they feared what's inside you? She blinked. Not in fear, in realization. For the first time, she felt something new rising inside her. Strength. The wind outside the outpost had changed. It no longer carried sand or dust. It carried silence, the kind of silence that warned of something dark approaching. Eli stood on the roof of the shelter, binoculars in hand, scanning the horizon. The scanners had picked up something strange. 3 fast-moving crafts. No ID signals, flying low and quiet. Not traders. Not patrols. And not friendly. Inside the shelter, she stood carefully, one hand on the wall for support, her body still getting used to the rebuilt frame. But her eyes were sharper now. Clearer. Stronger. She could feel it. Something wrong. She looked down at her shoulder. The mark still faintly glowing since last night. The strange floating symbol hovered just above it. She couldn't read it fully, but she could feel it that it wasn't finished yet. There was more. Suddenly, Eli dropped down from the roof and rushed inside. "They're back," he said. "And they brought others." She stiffened. "How many?" "At least 5, maybe more. Not just hunters. This time they've brought a seer ship." Her eyes widened. "A seer?" Eli nodded. "That's what the scanner says. High Command. Your people must really want you gone." She sat down slowly, hands trembling. "They're afraid of what I might become." Eli kneeled in front of her. "Then we need to leave, tonight." She shook her head. "We can't outrun a seer. They don't chase. They erase." Eli stood, thinking fast. "Then we don't run. We make them hesitate." He opened a dusty locker in the wall, revealing a small cube glowing blue. "What is that?" she asked. "An Earth Tech beacon," he said. "It sends a false distress call. Looks like a Federation ship in trouble. If we place it near their path, maybe they'll slow down to investigate. Buy us time," she nodded. "Time is all we need." Eli handed her a small weapon. "You remember how to use one?" She looked at the weapon, then at her still weak hand. "I never learned." Eli blinked. "You were a noble, weren't you?" She looked away. "Nobles don't fight, they command. They speak with pride, even when they break inside." He gently placed the weapon in her lap. "Then forget pride. Fight for life." Just then, the power in the outpost flickered. The mark on her shoulder glowed bright red. She gasped. Her knees buckled. She fell forward, catching herself just in time. "What's happening?" Eli ran to her. Her eyes rolled back. Her breath became shallow. "Don't touch it," she gasped. "It's unlocking." A bright flash shot from the mark, hitting the ceiling like a pulse. A strange hologram appeared in the air. Old alien script, turning slowly. Eli stared at it. "What the hell is that?" The writing shifted, translated by his visor. "Genetic key, royal design activation pending." Eli's jaw dropped. "You're not just a noble. You're a living key." Her voice cracked. "My family didn't just exile me. They tried to hide me. My blood opened something." Outside, the ground rumbled. A deep hum filled the sky. The seer ship had arrived. Its shadow darkened the sun as it hovered above the rocks. Inside, her breathing slowed. "They don't want me dead just because I'm weak. They want the key destroyed." Eli looked out the window, heart racing. "You're not dying here. Not tonight." She met his eyes. Tears shimmered again, but not from fear, from resolve. She whispered, "Then let's give them a reason to fear me." Asterisk smoke filled the air. The ground shook with every blast. The seer ship hovered like a giant shadow above the desert, casting red light across the outpost. Around it, armored hunters moved with perfect silence, closing in. Inside, alarms screamed. Eli ducked behind a crate, rifle in hand, blood dripping from a fresh wound on his arm. A blast had hit the wall just seconds ago, sending him flying. His vision blurred, but he still held on. He had to. Across the room, she lay on the floor, breathing hard, the exoframe flickering from damage. Her legs trembled. One of her arms wouldn't move. The last pulse from the seer ship had nearly shut her nervous system down again, and yet, her eyes were wide, not with fear, but with horror, because she saw something Eli didn't. A hunter was behind him, a silent shape, a glowing blade rising. He didn't see it coming. He had saved her, fed her, protected her, carried her from death and given her hope when she had none. And now he was about to die. Because of her. Something inside her snapped. Not like a break, like an awakening. The mark on her shoulder burned with golden fire. The strange floating symbol above it, once small and quiet, expanded into a ring of light. Lines raced through her body like lightning. And then she moved, not gently, not slowly. She launched forward. The exoframe roared back to life as she crossed the space in a blur of motion. Her hand reached the hunter's weapon just before it struck Eli's neck. She grabbed the glowing blade with her bare hand. It sizzled, burned, scorched her skin. But she didn't stop. Her other hand, weak just moments ago, slammed into the hunter's chest with force she didn't know she had. The armor cracked. The hunter flew backward, crashing into a metal beam. Silence. Eli turned, eyes wide. You. She stood over him, panting hard, smoke rising from her burned hand, but her legs holding firm. I moved, she whispered. I moved for you. Eli sat up slowly, staring at her like he was seeing her for the first time. You saved me. She nodded. No one ever did that for me before. Until you. Suddenly, her whole body pulsed again. The golden mark lit up the entire room. A new line of text appeared in the air above her. Key unlocked, genetic barrier broken, access granted. She gasped. I remember now, she said, her voice distant. They didn't throw me away because I was weak. They threw me away because I was the only one who could open something forbidden. Eli stood. Open what? She turned slowly to face the far wall where the hologram had appeared. A map flickered into view. A planet surrounded by a ring of energy. A hidden place. Her birthplace. But also something more. A vault, she whispered. Built before memory. Holding something they were afraid of. Something only I could touch. Outside, more hunters were coming. They could sense the activation. The seer ship moved closer, preparing to strike. But inside the outpost, the girl they left for dead stood tall, her eyes shining gold, her body trembling but alive with purpose. Not because she wanted revenge, not because she wanted to prove herself, but because she now knew she had a reason to live. The world had changed. Once, she couldn't move. Once, she couldn't speak. Once, she was thrown into the dirt like she was nothing. Now, she was flying through the stars. The stolen scout ship hummed beneath her feet, guided by Eli's hands. On the controls, she stood behind him, no longer wrapped in blankets, no longer broken. The mark on her shoulder glowed constantly, now no longer a scar of shame, but a symbol of power. Her name. Her true name. Returned to her at last. Serai. The name her mother whispered as they took her away. Are you sure this is it? Eli asked, pointing at the strange energy ring circling the planet ahead. Sarai nodded. Yes, that's the vault. It's not just a place, it's a memory locked in time. And only I can open it. They landed in silence. The surface was empty. No buildings. No cities. Just a massive stone ring carved into the ground, ancient and humming with life. Eli helped her walk to the center. The light from her mark stretched forward, touching the ring. The stone opened like a heartbeat. Inside light. Pure. Golden. Blinding light. Sarai stepped in first. Eli followed. What they saw made him stop breathing. Thousands of symbols floated in the air, moving, breathing. Whispers filled the space, not voices, but knowledge. Images, memories. Sarai raised her hand. The room responded. She turned to Eli. It's not a weapon. It's something far more powerful. What is it? He asked. She looked around, tears in her eyes. A history erased. A truth hidden. From the lights, an image formed. Her. People, long ago, had the power to heal, to restore broken worlds, but a war tore them apart. Those who remained sealed their legacy deep underground, passing the key down through blood. Through her, she wasn't born broken. She was born chosen. Suddenly, alarms. The seer ship had followed them. Outside, dark figures were descending. They're coming, Eli warned. Sarai walked to the edge of the platform. Her golden light spread across the ground. The symbols in the air followed her, entered her. One by one, they disappeared into her body like whispers returning home. the mark on. Her shoulder vanished, and in its place, wings of golden light opened behind her. Eli blinked in awe. "You're not just royalty, are you?" She shook her head slowly. "I'm the last of the line of remembering. The guardian of the forgotten." The doors burst open. Hunters stormed in, weapons ready. Sarai walked forward. No armor. No guns. Just truth. "You called me trash," she said, her voice now like a bell through the air. "You left me to rot in metal and pain. But I lived. And now I remember who I am." The hunters aimed. Too late. The ground beneath them lit up. The ancient power of the vault surged upward, not to destroy, but to change. Weapons fell from the hunters' hands. Their armor cracked, and their eyes widened. As the light touched them, they remembered too. Their past, their crimes, their shame, and they fell to their knees not by force, but by the weight of what they had done. Sarai stood still. Calm. Unshaken. Eli walked beside her, hand resting on hers. "You did it," he said. "No," she replied softly. "We did it, 1 week later." On a peaceful world, far from war and fire, Sarai walked slowly through a garden, real grass under her feet. Her legs worked now. Her heart was whole. Beside her, Ele watered the plants, smiling at her. "You know," he said, "when I found you, I thought you were going to die." Sarai looked at him with a small smile. "And now?" He shrugged. "Now I'm thinking I might have to marry the most powerful woman in the galaxy." She laughed, a sound full of warmth and life. "Only if you promise," she teased. "Never throw anyone away," he grinned. "Not even space junk." They stood together under a golden sky, where once there was silence, and now only light.